What is on a grilled cheese?
Cheese.
Who let the dogs out?
Baja Man.
Would you bang a robot?
What?
Would you bang a robot? This guy is way off baseline.
What's up guys, Jared here, and it's the best time of the week, movie review time. Anyways, last night I got to see Blade Runner 2049, 2049, 2049. Basically, I got to see the new Blade Runner movie. The original Blade Runner was released in 1982, 35 years ago, and now they make a sequel? So how well does Blade Runner 2049 do following its cult classic predecessor? Let's find out. So Blade Runner 2049 is directed by Denis Villeneuve, the same guy that directed Prisoners, Sicario, and Arrival, and is set 30 years after the original Blade Runner. It's established early on that the Tyrell Corporation has gone bankrupt and the Nexus 8s have been outlawed. As time passes, the Wallace Corporation comes in and takes the place of the Tyrell Corporation, which produces Nexus 9's more obedient and perfected replicants. On the other hand, Officer K. No, Officer K, not Agent K. Sorry. Played by Ryan Gosling, is a police officer for the LAPD. He is tasked with hunting down the remaining Nexus 8s and retiring them. On a routine assignment, a hidden object is revealed, unearthing a forgotten mystery. As more and more pieces of the puzzle fall into place, Officer K must hunt down the one man with answers, Rick Deckard. So first things first, it's pretty difficult not to mention spoilers when talking about this movie, so some of the things I might say are gonna be vague. Now, if you're thinking, oh no, I haven't seen the first Blade Runner, am I gonna be lost during this? I would say no. The opening has text that kind of explains what has happened and where we're at. There were a few Easter eggs and nostalgic characters from the original Blade Runner that you can appreciate, but nothing that's gonna completely throw you off. One thing that I didn't do and would recommend is checking out the 2 shorts and the short anime Blackout 2022 that they released before the film. It gives a bit more backstory when certain things are mentioned. But damn, was this movie absolutely beautiful. Roger Deakins does a superb job on all of the cinematography. Every little shot in Blade Runner 2049 is a work of art. Whether it's the dark and gloomy streets of LA, the bright, vibrant orange hues of the desert, or the misty landscape as a hovercar tears through the fog, Blade Runner 2049 is by far the most visually orgasmic film I've seen this year. On top of the visuals, the score and sound design was absolutely amazing. Right from the get-go, we get this heavy synth score while a hover cruiser loudly zooms by. The synth score doesn't really overpower any one scene, but rather enhances the movie. The sounds of gunshots, fist punching, squeaky doors, and walking on an old wooden floor are just amazing. It's all of these little sound effects that really add the cherry on top. The performances in this were all around fantastic. Harrison Ford reprises his Rick Deckard role perfectly, showing us the beaten down shell of a man that he used to be. Everyone else played their role in this movie, but the real standout was Ryan Gosling as Officer K. He played the cold and calculated officer, emotionless most of the time, motivated by only his assignments. But on the flip side, showing his warm, loving character when he was off duty. His performance conveys that he's at the crossroads of a dilemma, and you can see that there's conflict building within him. Lastly, the story is just great. It's this action sci-fi crime movie that keeps having you ask questions and trying to solve it for yourself, only to realize you couldn't be further from the truth. It's a slower movie, but so engaging that it's well worth it. I thoroughly enjoyed Blade Runner 2049, but there were a few small negatives I did have with the film. Some of the scenes, especially the ending, were a bit too dark, kinda hiding the characters and the action that was happening. And the ending, it felt a bit rushed. Not the usual big climactic ending to a sci-fi movie. But that's kind of Blade Runner because the original didn't have this big spectacle of an ending either. Overall, Blade Runner 2049 is an amazing sci-fi noir sequel that's well worth checking out. With beautiful cinematography, a solid score and sound design, great performances, and a fleshed out story, but with a few scenes that were in the dark and a rushed climax. I would highly recommend checking out Blade Runner 2049. This movie is all around bonkers. What did you think of Blade Runner 2049? Was it the phenomenal 35 years in the making sequel you were hoping for? Or was this just a tired sci-fi movie that you're probably gonna skip? I want to hear about it in the comments below. As always, you can find me on the social medias at Jared Buckendahl on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.